A Kentucky player proved at Pro Day that he's poised for a breakout season. Now, honestly, if this were the case with Trent Noah back in the day, you'd say I don't believe it. But let's take a look at this Trent-related news. Trent Noah's transformation is one of those stories that makes Kentucky Wildcats fans' hearts flutter with pride and excitement. There's no denying it. If someone had said a few months ago that Noah would be one of the most promising players on Mark Pope's roster this season, many would have reacted with skepticism. After all, until recently, he was seen as a limited player, a three-point shooting specialist whose role on the team seemed destined for brief cameos. But everything can change, and it started at Pro Day when Noah proved to the world and BBN that he's poised to make a much bigger impact than anyone could have imagined. The event, broadcast on SEC Network Plus, was the first opportunity for fans to see the Kentucky squad in action, and Noah stole the show. The Harlan native, who already holds a special affection from fans as a true native, showed impressive progress since his freshman season. While previously seen as a role player, one who would come in to hit a few long shots and little else, he is now emerging as a multifaceted threat, capable of contributing in multiple areas of the game. One of the biggest surprises was Noah's improved ability to create his own shots. Until then, his main characteristic was his efficiency on catch-and-shoot shots. However, during his pro day, he demonstrated refined skills in maneuvering the opposing defense, creating space and opportunities for himself. This improvement is crucial because combined with his deadly accuracy on three-pointers, it could make him a lethal weapon offensively. Imagine a player who not only shoots with surgical precision, but also knows how to dribble and create space in tight situations. For opposing teams, that could be daunting. Furthermore, Noah worked hard this offseason to gain muscle, and that dedication was evident. He not only appears stronger physically, but he also demonstrated significant improvements in his defensive game. Last season, Noah already showed talent as a rebounder, but now, with a more robust body, he has the potential to dominate even more in that area. His added strength will allow him to compete for rebounds even more aggressively, especially against bigger, more physical centers and forwards. This combination of skills, shot creation, long-range accuracy, physical strength, and defensive presence, takes Noah to another level. He will no longer be just a positive energy player who comes in to score a big shot or two. Now, he is positioning himself as one of the best reserve players in college basketball, capable of changing the momentum and outcome of a game. Kentucky fans may have underestimated Noah's role at the start of the season, especially considering the star power Mark Pope has brought to the roster. Between high-profile transfers and promising freshmen, many assumed Noah would remain a supporting player, playing a similar role to the previous season. However, his performance at Pro Day completely changed that perception. It seems increasingly likely that he will be one of Pope's secret weapons, capable of providing high-quality minutes off the bench and disrupting games with his versatility. It's Trent, a young man who arrived at the program as a local prospect, faced doubts about his potential, and is now proving he belongs on the big stage. His story is a reminder that, in college basketball, constant improvement can transform an underrated player into a breakout star. Let's move on. Garrison enters this new season with a clear mission to prove he's matured. The center, who last season struggled with flashes of brilliance and costly mistakes, spent the offseason determined to transform his flaws into strengths. And, by his own admission, it all started with the mirror, his physique, his mind, and his decisions. Last season, Garrison showed moments that made clear his potential to be a central piece in Mark Pope's system. There were games in which he was dominant on both ends of the court, but also games in which overconfidence and hasty readings betrayed him. He turned over 26 of 35 games, a number the player himself acknowledged as unacceptable for someone aspiring to be a leader. Now, he wants the Brandon Garrison of 2025 to be a different person, more controlled, more efficient, and above all, more prepared. The first step was physical conditioning. With Amari Williams' departure and Jaden Quainton's temporary absence at the start of the season, the center knows he'll carry much of the responsibility in the paint. He spent the summer following a rigorous training regimen with strength coach Randy Towner, and he made no secret of the sacrifice it required. After the season, that was the main thing we talked about, being in the best shape possible, he said. Coach Pope asked me if I wanted to be in the best shape possible, so I had to suffer during the summer. And it was worth it. The suffering has borne visible fruits. Garrison appears lighter, more agile, and ready for the extra minutes ahead. But beyond his body, he also needed to work on his mind. Mark Pope relies on his centers to initiate the attack, something unusual but already part of the coach's tactical identity. This freedom, however, demands responsibility. It's part of my game, said Garrison. I need to make quick and better decisions. He lets his centers bring the ball up, so take care of the ball and make me trust him. Self-criticism is a sign of maturity that Pope certainly appreciates. The coach values players who learn from their mistakes and turn them into fuel. Garrison seems to have understood this. The idea that he can function as a backup point guard in the paint like Amari Williams did only becomes real if his decision-making matches his talent. More than statistics, Garrison now wants consistency. The role he will assume in the first few games, with Quainton still recovering, is crucial. He's not just a substitute. He's one of the few veterans who knows Pope's system and understands the culture the coach is trying to establish. Therefore, his leadership will be measured not only by what he does on the court, but by how he guides his younger teammates through the process. Mark Pope's Kentucky has been built on the idea of completeness. Offense, defense, rebounding, and control. Garrison epitomizes this philosophy. He has the physique, touch, and readability to be a modern center. What was missing was discipline, and he seems to have found it. When the ball is in play at the start of the season, the improvements will be immediately tested. Conditioning, confidence, and the ability to think quickly under pressure will tell the full extent of the summer's work. But one thing is certain. If Garrison can align his head and body, he could become not only the new pillar in the paint, but one of the most impactful leaders of the Mark Pope era in Lexington. And for Kentucky, looking to elevate its game to a new level, this could be the difference between a promising team and a truly dominant one. Kentucky football enters its second bye week of the 2025 season with mixed feelings. The campaign is far from lost, but there's a lot to fix if the Wildcats want to change course in the SEC. Mark Stoops' team, currently 2-3 and winless in the conference, presents a series of contrasts that explain the moment well. While some areas show undeniable progress, others continue to hinder the growth of a program, striving for consistency and efficiency. Among the most encouraging points of this first half is the revival of the tight ends play, a feat Kentucky fans haven't seen with such prominence in a long time. Josh Caddis and Willie Rodriguez have a combined 282 receiving yards, splitting the production almost evenly and combining for 3 touchdowns. More than just numbers, they have provided security and a physical presence on third down, a vital resource for an offense still searching for its identity. The production of this duo is projected to reach levels the program hasn't seen since the days of Jacob Tam, a historic reference at the position. This technical and physical balance, something rarely explored so successfully during Stoops' era, is one of the signs that the offensive coordinator is finding new ways to diversify the game plan. Another highlight has been the immediate impact of Seth McGowan. The transfer running back arrived in Lexington, surrounded by expectations, and responded with solid performances, intelligent reads, and a combination of explosiveness and patience that place him among the best in the SEC. With 431 yards and 7 touchdowns, McGowan appears poised to break the 1,000-yard mark this season, something not seen at Kentucky since the great years of Benny Snell. In an offense struggling to gain rhythm through the air, McGowan has been the stabilizing factor, the player who keeps the team on the field and gives the defense time to breathe. Speaking of defense, Alex Alfari has been establishing himself as one of the group's quiet leaders. The linebacker currently leads the SEC in tackles with 37, recording 1 sack and 3.5 tackles for loss. His game reading and aggressiveness have been essential to keeping the system competitive, even when the secondary struggles to contain the opposition's rush. And this is undoubtedly one of the biggest challenges so far. The passing game against the Wildcats' defense has been a constant problem. The pass coverage unit, traditionally one of the most disciplined under Stoops, is posting worrying numbers. The team allows 8.3 yards per pass attempt, the worst mark in the conference. The difficulty converting defensive third downs, 42.8%, and a high number of big plays conceded, 9 passes of 30 yards or more, reveal a defense that has been giving up too much ground. Part of this can be explained by inconsistent tackling. They have already missed 57 tackles in 5 games, which helps explain why 55% of the passing yard allowed have come after catches. Despite these lackluster numbers, there's one element that keeps the team going: the special teams. Jacob Caway and Aiden Laros have quietly been one of the season's strongest points. Caway, with 8 completions in 9 attempts, including 3 of over 40 yards, inspires confidence in critical moments, while Laros ranks among the best punters in the country, averaging over 46 yards per kick. The performance of these units not only prevents collapses in close games, but also helps maintain good field position, a crucial detail for an offense still rebuilding. The most obvious and perhaps most frustrating problem is the passing attack. Kentucky occupies uncomfortable positions in the national rankings, 125th in EPA and 124th in success rate. Quarterback Cutter Boley, still maturing, completes just over 57% of his passes, the worst rate among SEC starters. The Wildcats have only 4 touchdowns through the air, a number that doesn't reflect the talent available on the roster. And when they finally reach the red zone, the inconsistency rears its head again. The 63% touchdown pass rate inside 20 yards is the lowest in the conference. Even so, there's reason for optimism. The growing balance between the running game and the use of tight shows a genuine attempt by Stoops and his staff to modernize the offensive approach. The defense, while lacking in crucial moments, remains physical and aggressive, something that still gives the team a chance to compete on a weekly basis. And the special teams, often invisible to the fans, are solidifying themselves as one of the program's most solid pillars. Will this turmoil ever pass? Comment below.